Now I think I've discovered 3 of the best ETF investment portfolio strategies. Now as people get smarter about investing their own money from watching YouTube videos or even buying stocks on their own, one obsession that I see with all these individuals is designing the so-called perfect investment portfolio. Maybe you want to beat the S&P 500, maybe you want more dividend income, maybe you even want to have more growth in your stock market portfolio. The list just continues and goes on forever. The truth is that the best investment portfolio doesn't exist. Just like Bigfoot doesn't exist, neither does the best portfolio that beats the stock market. No one knows what's going to be the best ETF or investments that's going to perform well into the future. For example, just because VOO beat schd so far in returns in 2023 doesn't necessarily mean it's going to beat schd again in 2024. Same thing goes with something like crypto. Just because it did well the past 5 years doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best investment for the next 10 years. Now, a good investment portfolio should be well diversified, have low costs, great historical returns in the past, and an investment that you can hold on to for a very long time and be comfortable sleeping at night. Now, with all that said, here are 3 of the best ETF investment portfolio strategies that I've seen talked about the most and are the best in my opinion. Guys, be sure to sign up for Fanatically right now using the link down below. They let you copy any trades I make related to my videos, as well as any personal stock and ETF ideas I may be considering from time to time that aren't ready for a dedicated video just yet. On your screen, I have over $16,800 in buying power that I will deploy soon in some of these stocks I'm talking about in this video and just in general. So anyone having a brokerage account at either TD or E-Trade can use Fanatically. It's such an easy and simple tool to use for us to vet different investment ideas and trade together. If you guys want to see what stocks I'm going to be buying in the future and right now, you guys can click the link down below. Alright, let's kick it off with one of the most simple and easiest ETF portfolios to follow out there, and that is a one fund portfolio strategy. This is a strategy that I love, which typically involves Vanguard's S&P 500 Index Fund ETF, VOO, or something like Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund ETF, VTI. Just one fund from start to finish, no second fund to complicate your portfolio, just running out the highs and lows of the stock market. Now, this portfolio strategy has done extremely well in delivering great returns of over 10% per year and will easily make you a millionaire if you buy and hold and dollar cost average into this stock market portfolio and hold for the long haul. This portfolio is perfect for those in your younger years, like your 20s to maybe your later 40s, where you can withstand higher volatility of having pure stocks and benefit from those higher returns. Now, after the 2020 boom in stocks, I've seen a lot of people take the one fund portfolio a little bit too extreme and have basically only growth or only a tech fund play like QQQM, XLK, VGT, or even ARK Innovation. And sometimes for the future, that might not perform the best. You want to be more diversified into a fund that has great historical returns of at least the past 30 years, such as VOO and VTI, which can allow you to sleep more at night knowing that you have a diverse basket of stocks that can perform well into the future and not just one or two industries. Now, in no particular order, the second best ETF portfolio strategy is a step up from the one fund portfolio, and that is the two fund portfolio strategy. Traditionally, you would add bonds to a diversified ETF like VOO or VTI, and how you would calculate how much bonds you would have in your portfolio is by taking your age minus 20, whatever that number is going to be how much bonds you should have in your portfolio. So if you're 25 and you subtract that by 20, if you're a 25-year-old investor, you should have around 5% allocated of bonds into your portfolio. Now, an alternative to the traditional two-fund portfolio of having bonds and a core ETF like VOO or VTI that I've seen in the younger generation of around their 20s to late 40s, and what I've even been doing myself is to add a growth fund or a tech fund like SCHG, VUG, VGT, or even QQQM of around 10 to 50% even I've seen to their ETF portfolio. Now, this alternative ETF strategy is more of a growth strategy, which is labeled as a strategy that has the potential to outperform the general stock market. However, it does carry higher risk, but the potential for higher rewards and return to even rocket your portfolio, to retire early, have more money in your portfolio to divert into investments or other things that you would like. However, with growth and the potential to outperform the stock market does carry a ton of risk, and that's something that you guys should research on your own, as there's a lot of downside to the negative. However, to compensate your performance for risk is a lot of performance to the upside potentially. And if you don't like growth and you want more of a stable dividend cash flow with less risk to have a huge nest egg in retirement or in the future, then maybe adding something like schd or even DGRO might fit your fancy. Having something like schd and DGRO combined with VOO or VTI does allow for a good mix of both growth and dividends for cash flow, or you can even replace schd and DGRO with something like a monthly income fund like JEPB or JEPQ that allow for both growth and even stable dividends all into your retirement or even in retirement. And if you choose the pure 2-fund portfolio route, please be aware of the risk that comes involved with it, as you have tech as the highest allocation, which comes with higher volatility and low to little dividends coming along with it. However, you can have market beating returns in around the 15 to 18% range annually. Lastly, number 3 on our list is, you guessed it, the 3-fund portfolio, which is popularized by Bogle, and this has to be one of the most controversial stock market topics. The typical composition is just like a 2-fund portfolio, where you have US equities, typically that of VOO or VTI, and bonds of course, and then you add some international flavor like an ETF such as VXUS by Vanguard. The addition of international exposures such as VXUS by Vanguard is such a debatable topic because some people believe that having international stocks is the only way to be truly diversified around the world and even in your portfolio. However, some advocate for having only US equities, as they have traditionally outperformed international stocks by huge margins. Another 3-fund portfolio that I've seen trending on YouTube and online is having a combination of all 3 of the best investment strategies of US equities such as VOO, dividends of schd, and growth, and having something like schg or QQQM to that allocation. And that has outperformed the traditional 3-fund portfolio by a huge margin. Now we're going to be comparing 2 of the 3-fund portfolios that we just talked about. One will be the old way and the second one is the new way. So in the first portfolio we have 20% allocated to both bonds and international stocks and 60% allocated to the S&P 500. And the new portfolio we have 60% allocated to the S&P 500, 20 to dividends, and 20 to growth. So if we invested $100,000 in the old 3-fund portfolio, over 20 years we would end up with $283,000, and the new 3-fund portfolio, if we invested $100,000 20 years ago, we would end up with over double the returns of $473,000. We would also have a higher compounded annual growth rate of over 14% returns annually versus the old 3-fund portfolio of 9.28% returns. Now that concludes today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did like this video, please give it a like because this cute puppy did, and comment down below an ETF strategy that you are using. I personally use both these ETF strategies of having the 1-fund portfolio of only VOO and the 2-fund portfolio of having something like a dividend ETF, a growth ETF combined with an equity ETF like VOO. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. Hopefully you guys continue to crush in the stock market and take it easy. Peace.